Original depositor. There's a good chance that there may be treasure at the end of this tunnel. Beautiful. Yeah, there's some more trials in play this year for the discovery of the money pit, right, El? I think so, maybe. While they're building the money pit, they were living here. It's not out of the question. The Lagina brothers just hit the jackpot, uncovering a treasure worth millions on Oak Island, a discovery that could finally solve a 200-year-old mystery. After years of relentless searching, digging, and following countless clues, Rick and Marty Lagina's unbreakable determination has led them to what could be the greatest treasure haul the island has ever seen. This find isn't just about gold and jewels. It's a monumental moment in a story that's been steeped in intrigue, curses, and whispered legends passed down through generations. With artifacts rumored to be of immense historical value, this discovery is poised to rewrite everything we thought we knew about Oak Island's secretive past. Could this be the legendary treasure that hunters have pursued for centuries? One thing is certain, the Lagina brothers have changed the course of Oak Island history, and the true adventure is just beginning. The final drilling of the season, Rick identified a new spot not too far from an old garden shack, thinking this could be the big break. They're not just digging random holes, they're looking for specific signs, maybe a hidden room or a special vault buried deep underground. The idea is to drill right there and see what comes up. Meanwhile, Dr. Ian Spooner and Dr. Fred Michael have been doing their part with some new tests around the island. Dr. Spooner and Dr. Michael have strongly stated that in this area, there is a source of the metals that are detecting, and they don't believe it's natural. They're checking the water near the garden shaft and have decided on a spot for a new drill hole they're calling E5 and E45. They believe that if they dig about 100 foot down, they might just hit upon some valuable metals. It's a hopeful shot, one that could mean they finally strike gold or something just as valuable. These scientists are pretty sure that the signs of metal they found aren't just natural bits of the earth. No, they think they've pinpointed the exact spot where treasure might be hidden. With a mix of professional judgment and a touch of gut feeling, they're ready to declare this spot potentially legendary. The team is geared up, thinking this could be it. This might be where we find something incredible. The anticipation is high as they set up the drill. Everyone's thinking this could be the moment they've been waiting for. The drill goes deeper and deeper, and with each foot of soil and rock they move past, the excitement builds. They're all aware this is the last chance for the season. The drill has to work now, or they'll have to wait another long year to try again. As they watch the drill work, everyone's on edge. The team talks through the possibilities. What if this is the spot that changes everything? What if they're about to uncover not just a few old coins or pieces of metal, but a real hoard, something that people will talk about for years to come? It's more than just finding treasure. It's about proving to themselves and to everyone watching that their theories were right, that all the hard work and years of searching were worth it. The hope is that once we get down 50-60 feet, we'll be able to drill horizontally, vertically, and hopefully we do find a tunnel from this shaft, at least in some direction. Each member of the team has their own dreams about what finding the treasure could mean: new projects, securing their financial futures, or simply being part of history. But it's not just about the big dreams. There's a practical side too. They talk about what they'll do if they find something significant. How will they handle it? Who needs to be called? There's a plan in place for every possibility. As the day goes on, the team keeps busy. They check and recheck equipment, go over notes, and make sure everything is as perfect as it can be. They know the odds are long. They've been through enough false alarms to keep their expectations in check, but still, hope is a powerful thing. In the background, the drill keeps turning, the sound a constant reminder that they're right there on the brink of potentially discovering something monumental. They watch, wait, and hope that this time, this last dig of the season, will be the one that finally reveals Oak Island's long-hidden treasures. Every year, as the harsh winter winds begin to blow over Oak Island, the team of treasure hunters, led by Rick, Marty, and Craig, find themselves wrapping up another season of digging and dreaming. This year, like so many before, they end their search with little to show but mounting frustration and a whole lot of sand. Despite all the advanced technology and detailed maps that point to a fortune in precious metals hidden somewhere in the depths, the treasure remains elusive. The group's anticipation was palpable as they drilled down into the ground, hoping each new core sample brought up from the depths would be the one to reveal a vault of untold riches. Instead, they found sand. Just sand. Endlessly pouring from the drill site, mocking their high hopes with its gritty monotony. It wasn't just any sand either, it was a particularly frustrating mix full of clay, which complicates things. Clay-laden sand isn't just difficult to sift through, it's also a poor carrier for the water channels they were hoping to find and explore. False alarms and high hopes, they might have said, crowding around each new sample with a mix of eagerness and dread, and each time, the result was the same. Sand, and even more disappointing unsaturated sand that told them nothing new. Each revelation, or lack thereof, was a blow to their spirits. They had been led to believe, by all measures and expert advice, that this specific coordinate on their well-worn map would be significant. As the digging continued, the situation grew more dire. The season's window was closing fast, and with each passing day, the cold became more biting, a cruel reminder of their dwindling time. Discussions turned to the geological composition of their findings. This sand could have been a conduit for something bigger if it wasn't so packed with clay, someone might remark, trying to keep the morale up. But the reality was hard to ignore. This particular blend of sand and clay was not what they needed. It was not going to be the key to unlocking the island's hidden wealth. Theories abounded among the team. Perhaps this frustrating mix of sand and clay supported other theories, like those about flood tunnels designed to protect whatever was buried. Could this dense sand be evidence of old flood defenses? They wondered aloud, grasping at straws, trying to find a narrative that fit their findings, something to justify the endless hours of labor and hope. As the operation wound down, there was a lot of equipment to clean, logs to review, and data to analyze. The team would go over every detail, every number recorded, every sample taken. They'd debate what went wrong and what they might try next year. The discussions would be technical, detailed, and full of what-ifs. Each member of the team carried their own theories, their own hopes for what might finally crack the island's stubborn refusal to reveal its puzzles. The reality of treasure hunting is that it's a gamble, and more often than not, it doesn't pay off in the way the hunters dream. Yet the allure of what might be hidden beneath the surface keeps them coming back year after year. For Rick, Marty, Craig, and the rest of the crew, the promise of next season, with its new strategies and renewed hopes, offers a reason to return despite the disappointments. The camaraderie and thrill of the hunt, the what could be, remains too tempting to resist season after season. The Oak Island team pours their efforts into the ground, digging hole after hole, each one promising to be the breakthrough they've been waiting for. Yet every year ends in the same way, with hopes high and hands empty. Led by the unwavering Rick and Marty, the group clings to each piece of potential evidence like a lifeline, convinced they are just one step away from uncovering a huge cache of treasure. This season, their focus shifted to what they suspect might be a man-made tunnel connected to the ocean. They theorized that this tunnel could explain the unusual flooding in the garden shaft area, suggesting it might be part of an elaborate trap designed to protect the treasure. It's an exciting idea, right out of a swashbuckling pirate tale, ingenious and just elusive enough to keep them coming back for more. But let's get real. After drilling their 600th well, the repetitive nature of their findings, or lack thereof, begs the question: are they really on to something, or are they just digging deeper into a well of fantasies? They point to the presence of metals in the water as a sign of treasure nearby. But in the last 5 years, each year, I'm thinking that we better do it pretty soon. I mean, what are we up to, 600 wells now? I don't know. I mean, we still have the metals in water, sure do, and I do think what we just learned down there is important. It could not have transmitted the kind of water that's in the garden shaft. All right, number. I still think the metals are in the water, and we have 2 really good scientists who say it's meaningful. It's not just some sort of fluke. This is significant, they say, eager to believe that these traces are part of a larger puzzle leading to hidden riches. However, could it be that they're merely finding what's naturally there, interpreting the mundane as miraculous because they want to believe so badly? The annual wrap-up is now as predictable as the seasons. They gather, discuss their findings, which are often just enough to stir curiosity, but not enough to conclude anything. They plan for the next year, fueled by a mix of hope and stubborn determination. Let's look at what we did and figure out what to do next, they resolve, their optimism undimmed by the reality of yet another fruitless season. Tomorrow, they'll meet again, lay out all their data, theories, and maps, and talk excitedly about the possibilities. They felt let down by the empty dig, but strange findings kept their hopes up and tools ready. Dreams versus reality in treasure hunting. But isn't this cycle a bit exhausting? Hundreds of attempts, endless speculation, and still the treasure they seek, if it even exists, remains a figment of their imagination. They find anomalies in the soil, irregularities in the water, and patterns that could be interpreted as evidence of something more. But these are often just natural occurrences that any piece of land subjected to such intense scrutiny might yield. Yet, they keep driven by the thrill of the hunt, the camaraderie of the team, and perhaps a touch of greed. Year after year, they return to the island, driven by tales of what could be buried there. The Money Pit, that infamous spot on the island, is their holy grail. It's the center of their quests, the place that keeps their dreams alive. It's not just about finding treasure. It's about the chase, the discoveries, the possibility that this time they might strike it rich. As they pack up their equipment, log their last notes, and shut down the drills for the season, there's a palpable sense of déjà vu. They've been here before, faced the same setbacks, pondered similar clues, and made identical promises about next year. Yet their hope is undeterred. They leave the island with plans already forming for their return, discussions about what to try next, and debates about what went wrong. The latest dig at Oak Island turned out to be a huge letdown, yet again. This time, the team was all excited about some metal canisters in a particular spot called the garden shaft. They had big plans to drill sideways after reaching 995 foot down, but then the site got completely flooded. This sort of thing seems to happen a lot there, like a bad joke where you know the punchline is just more water and mud, not treasure. The excitement had partly been about these weird signals from metal down there. One of the team members, Fred, seemed pretty sure these signals meant there was still something hidden underground. But after drilling into an area they call the baby blob, what did they find? Absolutely nothing but more water. Despite that, they're planning to keep on digging around the northeast side, between this blob and the garden shaft, hoping new data might turn things around. Besides this, the team is making a big deal out of finding traces in 3 other spots near the so-called Money Pit area. They're talking up a place they've named Aladdin's Cave, a huge hole in the ground filled with water that supposedly has tiny bits of precious metals and some old wood in it. Watching them get excited about some pieces of wood floating in water is kind of surreal. They're treating these bits like they're valuable artifacts, which just shows how desperate they are to find anything worth talking about. This latest expedition was more about stirring up excitement over what they might find than about actual results. It seems like every time they dig, they end up with more questions and less credibility. The true treasure of Oak Island remains its ability to keep treasure hunters coming back, fueled by hope and the thrill of what might be, rather than what is. These treasure seekers are a stubborn bunch, clinging to their dreams of striking it rich, even though all they keep hitting is rock and water. Let's not forget the tales of legends that have built up around this place. They talk about pirates, ancient artifacts, and lost fortunes, which all sound thrilling enough to keep anyone hooked. But at the end of the day, it's those stories that are the real gems of Oak Island. They bring in TV shows, curious tourists, and hopeful diggers, all drawn by the allure of